How's it going, guys? Jacob Rothenberg here. In case you are new to the channel, I have been doing Kindle publishing for nearly 4 years now, making a full-time income from it. And it is October 18th. It's nearing the boom of Q4, where we've got the most amount of sales you can make with your Amazon books, namely for activity books, coloring books, books for kids. That's something that I specialize in. That's how I was really able to quit my job and build out my catalog to sustain a full-time income with what's called low-content activity books. So these are not books that are loaded with text like you would expect in a conventional book. Instead of words and text, you've mostly got illustrations, pictures, mazes, dot to dots, and so forth. So what I want to talk about today with this is how you can also do adult coloring books. So instead of focusing on activity books for children, what's also almost just as lucrative is adult coloring books. And that also includes activity books for adults. Now, what I want to also mention is that once we do the research, you'll notice that the results pages are pretty much dominated by a few select publishers. But there are opportunities for you to get out and break out with a new brand, and I'll show you how. And I'll show you what goes into the work of a coloring book, along with some keywords. So we'll get some keywords knocked out of the way for you too. So we are on Amazon. I have searched ahead of time adult coloring books, and I'll just show you a quick preview of the page 1 search results. So we have a sponsored ad here, meaning we have someone running an Amazon ad that is delivering impressions on the top of page 1 by Jade Summer. Jade Summer is a very prolific publisher, self-published, as you can see here with the publisher space and create space. And they've got a whole amount of real estate on page 1. So they are paying for ad spot number 1 here, ad spot number 2. Steampunk, I like that. And then from here, you have the organic results. And you've got different publishers, very, very strong publishers here. Imagine having 5,000 reviews on your book. That pretty much immortalizes you. For stoners, you've got Jade Summer here again, organically, with 100 flowers. And then so forth and so on. Now, I'll get back to this in a bit. That's funny. Female serial killer coloring books, and it actually sells. It was published 18 days ago. Interesting. Okay, we'll check that out. How did they get on the top of page 1 with just being published in 18 days? That's an opportunity for you guys to consider, and we'll come back to this. Autumn Life, it's near Halloween, so it's kind of obvious that things are going to sell towards Halloween. Self-published. Almost all of these are self-published, guys. So if they can do it, you can do it too. There's nothing extraordinary with getting 14 reviews for a book. That should be pretty freaking easy to do. It sells really well. Likewise, sells really well. Despite getting slammed on a review. That's okay. And we have books that are actually ranking really well despite being just recently published. I should have done something like this. And then we have a Christmas book here that is doing relatively well with someone that doesn't even have an author page and only 9 reviews. So we'll use this as a case study too. So I think you get the picture. You've got a mix of people that are doing extremely well on Amazon, along with some entries on the page 1 of adult coloring books as a search result, and getting some good traction right off the gate. Let's take a look at female serial coloring books. I don't even know a lot of female serial killers, except Hillary Clinton. But that's aside the case. Let's see here what's going on. I honestly have no idea who these people are. I don't know any of these names. So I am not personally engaged with the content, but when you're publishing, it doesn't always have to be a passion project. You can just be doing it for the money, and that's okay. That is perfectly fine. So what do we have here, guys? We have a cover that looks like it can be made for $20 if you outsource it. You've just got some sketches along with some layers of the page illustration scattered around the cover and some typography you can do on Canva. Very easy to pull off. I could pull this off with 1 hour of time, and someone competent can probably make a cover like this in 15 minutes. Same for the title page. I like this. They have some effort put into the title page. It's good. And here we go. This is the actual content inside the interior. This is very easy stuff to make, guys. All you got to do, fire up canva.com and just start putting out some text. So here they have text that has no color in the fill. It's all hollow. Easy stuff. And then you've got this, well, not very good looking illustration made for Jane Topan. And then likewise for this Jane Topan, for Eileen. So I like the mix here between having a quote for a color test, and then here you've got something where they've designed a template where they have their name, crime, and so on with handwritten lines. And then they've got a little box for the illustration. This is really easy to make, guys. Spend 30 minutes making a template and then just fill it in with this illustration. Notice from this page to this page, the template is exactly the same. The template is exactly the same except for the background layer. So here we have a slash and an X, and this publisher took the time to make different backgrounds for each page. That's just a layer in the interior design. That is really easy to set up. So that's what they've got here. And that's pretty much the concept of the book. It's not rocket science. And if you have the discipline and the time to put aside, you can get a book like this done in a couple days. If you just focus, have some illustrations granted, and just put in the work. This is not a hard book to pull off. So that's how the book was designed. Description is really standard to make. I mean, shit, I'll write you that description. And then they have here in the title their main keyword. And then looks like they've somewhat tried to stuff a little bit the subtitle, which is perfectly fine in my opinion doing it this way. So you've got adult coloring book. I don't know if this is really an in-demand keyword, but hey, it's there. And then you've got true crime gifts, because true crime, guys, if you don't know, true crime is a very popular aspect of the book industry. People love true crime, especially true crime nonfiction. And so if you want to give a true crime gift, I can see how this book is marketable. So that's a unique spin to it. I like this. And then 4 reviews. Anyone can get 4 reviews, guys. If you need help getting 4 reviews, let me know, and I'll teach you how to get 4 reviews on your book easily. So that's what they've got going on here. It's 8x11. And they don't even really have an author page to speak of. Easy stuff. Easy stuff. So that's how you get a book to sell. Let's look also at their male, I think it's called American Serial Killer Coloring Book. It's only got 2 reviews, but I would have assumed this sells more because male serial killers are more famous than female serial killers, in my opinion. And it does sell a little bit better, but notice this was only published a week ago, guys. Still selling well. It's got 2 reviews. These are real reviews. And again, this is not a book that's particularly special with the design and setup. It's got the exact same template as the female serial killer's book. So I mean, I think I might have just exposed this keyword for someone to duplicate and steal. If you guys want to do that. But easy peasy, lemon squeezy. This is a good keyword to take off. And if you can put more reviews and market it better, maybe you can get more sales. So, haha. Haha, Dexter. Your keyword's fucked. Let's go to another one. I wanted to talk about this. So this is Christmas Magic, a holiday coloring book for adults. Now, I'll be honest, on the onset of looking at this is not adult-rated content. This is not something where you have explicit or mature content that would prohibit a child from viewing. So they label this as being for adults for two reasons. Number one, the coloring sophistication would have to be like a lot more like advanced than a child trying to fill in a very open illustration. So this is much harder to color, but I think a kid could still pull this off. And along with that, it's all about the marketing. So this publisher wants to market the title as an adult coloring book, even though, aside from the fact that it's a little bit more difficult to color in the illustrations here, there's nothing wrong with giving this book to a child that knows how to color as well. Maybe a 9 or 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, and so forth. Now, I do want to point out with this book, this is a publisher who actually hand drew, assumingly, if they're telling the truth, the illustrations. I believe it. And so if you want an illustration like this, you're either going to have to be a talented artist or you're going to have to find someone really good to make a hand drawing like this. I don't think, well, this is just my opinion, but from what I have seen and what I've worked with in terms of freelancers, I haven't found someone who could do this very cheaply, like for $20, and produce this level of quality. You'd probably have to pay someone $50 to $100 to get something like this sketched. And that would make the book a little bit cost inefficient to produce. Now, that being said, you can make an adult coloring book for Christmas, and the illustrations don't nearly need to be as sophisticated as this. The quality is a nice extra touch. It's a differentiator for sure. But you don't need to be as advanced as this when you're making illustrations. This is really good, but I would say it's a little... If you're a publisher that's outsourcing your work, it's overkill to go to this level. I mean, if you can, that'd be great, but it's not necessary. And this is something that was only put out 3 weeks ago, 9 reviews, and it's selling really well, despite the fact that we are not even in November yet. So once we enter mid-November and towards Christmas especially, this book will pop off. Maybe we'll come back to this book in a month or in a month and a half and see how much this book pops off. But this will do really well in Q4. Even though it's only got 9 reviews, even though the BSR is 17,000, which is actually pretty good, this book will really take off. So we'll come back to this. Now let's go on and look at some more keywords. I actually wanted to talk about something. So this book here is actually at the top of the organic search for adult coloring books, but its BSR is not that great. Can you guys understand and perhaps analyze why this is not selling very well? Think about it. Okay? Now, what I want you to do is actually look at this book, and as you scroll, what catches your attention as you scroll down? So I'm just going to do this. What gets your eyeballs on the screen? So when I was scrolling through, I kind of like said, oh, Alice, you're hot. Okay, I hope you're over 18. Steampunk, cool, okay. Whatever. And then stoner, ooh, like this is colorful. This book is overlooked. Now, why? Number one, the color is very lacking in this title. It's very blasé, it's very plain. And what the hell is a Stars Hollow coloring? It's a Gilmore Girls book. I would assume it's trademarked, but aside from that, I don't see the appeal behind this book. Personally, maybe some chick out there can explain why this would be a good buy. And the cover sucks. That's all I can say. The cover sucks. It needs a lot more color. And it could be a good keyword. It could be. But I don't see the appeal behind it. It's got a decent rank. Doesn't have reviews yet. Maybe it could take off. But if you want to have a book sell, having good visibility for a good search term is only part of the equation. It's not enough. You need to have the complete package. You need to have a great looking cover, a title, niche keyword that's in demand, something that is actually cool. Like what's cooler, guys? This Stars Hollow coloring book or a stoner coloring book for adults? This is a lot more attractive, a lot more marketable to sell. So that explains why, even though you've got the top search result here with the 32,000 BSR, I could scroll down to here and You Are Effing Awesome is ranked 724. So make sure that your cover is on point and that your keyword is actually something that's attractive enough to facilitate sales. So now I'm kind of ascertaining that you might have to actually get influence. I'm not saying copy, but perhaps gather some influence, some ideas from existing keywords that are doing well, and then put your own spin on it. So that's what's going on. Don't make up your own hollow Gilmore Girls thing. Like, unless I am ignorant about what I just saw, I don't see the appeal. I'd literally pick any other book and page one other than that. Let's look at this. This is actually kind of pretty. This was just published 2 weeks ago. Very strong BSR for a 2-week release with no reviews. 30,000 is pretty good. And then it's a countryside coloring books for adults. That's an original keyword. Okay, I probably fucked up someone's launch by exposing this. That's cool. Let's look at what this is. I like the cover. It's got looks like a watercoloring style kind of the cover. I don't think it was custom made. It could have been a stock, or could have been stolen. I don't know. But okay, yeah. You're not high quality paper. You're self-published. You got the same paper as all of us, dude. Shut the fuck up. All right, so you've got F11, blah, 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 title page. Okay. Oh. This interior is actually pretty decent. Again, you could have someone sketch this. Now, this is something more practical to sketch. It's still sophisticated. It's still good, but it's not crazy good like that Christmas coloring book we saw. So this, I could probably outsource for $20 to $30 per page. I'm pretty sure I could pull it off from a third world provider. That makes sense. And then they've got 60 pages, so I could probably pull off this book for $300 to $400. It's got 29 pages. Yeah, I could do it cheap. Someone like you watching this, outsourcing, could maybe get it done for $500 to $700, depending on your negotiation skills and your source in terms of getting it produced. Now, they did fuck up the description. It's not properly formatted. They can work on that. But hey, aside from the fact that their description's autistic, you've got a keyword here that is not very well known. that sells. It's already selling. So that's good to know. If you guys need a keyword to steal that is not going to have a lot of competition, let's head out to North Dakota. Let's head out to the countryside. Get out of California. Get out of that shithole and produce some books in the countryside. There you go. Next, let's do one more. And the reason, guys, why I'm glossing over the books that have a lot of reviews that are doing super, super, super well is because I want this to be relatable. I want you to see what people are producing that are in the self-publishing space that are actually not that great at publishing. So where you could say, oh, if this person is doing this well, you can do it too. You can do it too. So here, let's look at some more. These are all big bangers. That sounded weird. Here we go again. We've got the Star coloring book, Mermaids. This is Jade Summer. Let's actually then go to... All right, let's look at this. This was published 6 days ago. Now here they have the strategy where in their subtitle they put the dimensions. I have not really seen that before. I've never done that before, at least. That's an interesting approach for the subtitle. It's a coloring book that's for stress and relief. That's actually very well known to do. Very lazy description, but a decent cover. It's probably sold 1 or 2 copies up until now with no reviews. It's just another stress coloring book that managed to get on the page 1 search results. Hey, another keyword for you guys to consider. Let's actually, before I end this, let's do 8 times 11. Nah, it doesn't even come up as a... Why would they put the dimensions in the description? Okay, so what I'm doing, guys, I'm putting in a search term, 8.5 inches by 11 inches, and seeing what auto-populates. So what are people searching for when they are looking for this term, 8.5 by 11? None of it's related to an activity book. So I'll probably just look at this before we call it. What's an 8.5 password book? People put their passwords in a book? Maybe we have found a keyword. This is independent. This is self-published. Let's take a look at this. It's probably the dumbest shit. Yeah, this is just... Wow. This is just stuff you can make in Canva, guys. I can make this in 5 minutes. All right, you guys got another keyword from this video. Password books seem to sell. Just make sure they're particularly large and trim size. 8.5 by 11 will suffice. People write their passwords in books. Okay. I don't know who's doing this. I think that's how part of the mafia was partially brought down to justice. Some idiot put all their accounting and all their info in a journal that was found in a restaurant. So if you want someone to cause their downfall, have a password book published. And maybe some criminal will leave it in a restaurant. And it doesn't sell super well, but consider if you can have something like this made in 5 or 10 minutes for free, and you just put it out there, get some reviews, get some sales going for it. Same thing here. Now this one has 300 reviews, that's why it'll sell better. This has 4 reviews. But again, for something that takes 10 minutes to make on Canva, what do you really expect? Like this sells maybe 1 copy a week. It's the exact same interior as the other book. Exact same interior. So if you want to make some more income, consider doing a password book. Kill Emily Grace, take over a keyword, make her go bankrupt, make sure she gets foreclosed on, take over this keyword. So that's all I have, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about Q4, about publishing low content or activity books, Let me know in the comments whether you're watching on YouTube. In the description below, leave a comment. If you're watching this through Facebook, leave me a question and I'll be sure to answer you back. Until then, guys, take care. See you later and keep publishing. See ya.